What up YouTube, Balboa here with a brand new video review. This time of the ThuderCats 2011 Cheetara. Now Cheetara is actually a okay figure. Now she does suffer from what normal female figures tend to suffer from. Now we'll get into the figure in a second. I want to cover the packaging real quick. The packaging is actually pretty nice. It is the standard blistered packaging. A very nice artwork of Cheetara. Very nice. On the back we feature a picture of the toy. We also feature a bio of the toys in the line. And I will be reading the bio and it will be down there. Cheetara is an expert fighter whose duty is to protect Lin-o and the Sword of Omens at any cost. And that's it. We got a ThuderCats bio and then multilingual. Collect them all. Yep, and that's really it. Now, Cheetara is a figure that suffers from a lot of things. She tends to suffer from what many female figures do. It's when you have a thin joints and you don't have much articulation, well, at least as much as the normal male figures. This is very common because if you put a lot of articulation in, they're thin, so they'll break, and people complain. If you don't put a lot of articulation in there, and you make it so they don't break, then people complain for lack of articulation. Either way, you get a complaint from the fans. But she actually comes out pretty nice. Now, I will point this out. This is a problem. Her hair is sculpted directly on her body, and she can't turn her head. This is because of the hair. Now, there is the magnetic locks gimmick in here, and if I had a little piece of metal I could probably show you. In fact, here's a screwdriver. You can see that that is the magnetic gimmick, and it does break up the sculpt. I wish it was painted. What you can do is just pretend it's like some kind of hairband or something. That's what I usually do. But yeah. So, detailing on this thing's really nice. She does suffer from what the other figures do with the pegs showing, but you can pretend they're her spots. Yeah, there's that. Detail on the hair is actually pretty nice. And she got some spots right there on the hair. The eyes are done very well, but I doubt my camera will pick up on it. Come on. Come on. Okay, never mind. It's not going to pick up. Very nice use of paint. I have to admit, I really like the paint they used. Very nice. It's almost shiny. It's very very reflective right here in the top area, and you could probably tell because of my lights. Now, articulation on Cheetara is actually very nice. The head does not move, and she only goes out that much from the arms, and she can almost do a 360, but this gets in the way. She does have a swivel pretty far above the elbow, an elbow joint, and no wrist. This is unfortunate. They could have easily put in a wrist. Now, her hips are just like the Justice League hips. If you have the Justice League Unlimited figures, the female figures, the cut was in the V, so you get that. Now, you can actually get some cool kind of sidekick poses, but with the lack of head articulation, it kind of looks silly. But you have the V cut, which does make it impossible for her to sit in any of the vehicles, unfortunately. She does feature a thigh swivel, knees, and that's it. She doesn't have any ankle tilts or swivels, which this figure really should have had that, because this is the one you would get in the running pose, and the one you would need the ankle. You kind of get something like that. Doesn't really look good, but it's okay. Now, she does come with one accessory, if I put her aside. Now, the pegs on her feet are bigger than a normal peg, so she is very hard to get to stand. So even if you have a display stand, it can be hard. Move my camera back. The accessory she comes with is her bow. And it actually isn't that bad. If you look very close, you could see some wooden molded detail. but my camera will not pick this up. It is made from a bendy, very flexible plastic, so it is not very strong. It's very similar to the plastic used in the Sword of Omens. See, the Sword of Omens was very bendy. This is also very bendy, unfortunately. This can probably be held by other characters, but her hands are actually sculpted just a little bit more closed, so chances are this probably wouldn't be able to be held by some other characters, but probably the wily cats could hold this. It does fit in her hand very well. It's very solid. Well, it tends to be. If you kind of do that to her hands, then put it in, it will be a pretty solid fit. The best pose I can find for this figure is like this. This is when she, because her staff could actually shrink and it would expand. And this is the best pose I could find with her, because she actually had this pose in the show. Interesting detail I would like to point out is that when I said this thing could shrink, if you look right there, that's actually the bow shrunken down. So that's a nice little detail. It's painted, and it looks very nice. So I'm going to put it in her hand, just for her to hold it. It does tend to get warped in packaging, so be aware of that. She won't stand. I'll have to hold her. Here she is next to Lin-o. She is just a little bit smaller. I mean, just a little bit. She's just a little smaller. And Cheetara, which is a little more taller, because he is just a hair taller than Lin-o, and she is just a hair smaller than Lin-o, so she's like 2 hairs smaller than him. And the scaling's done very nice. She is smaller than Panthro, of course, and she is also much bigger than the wily cats. So there you go. This is my review of Cheetara. Now, is she recommendable? To certain people. If you are a fan of ThuderCats, then definitely go for it. It may not be the funnest toy, but it definitely has its fun. It definitely has its charm. It's very unique, so I recommend it. One thing I thought is weird about the costume design that I'm going to point out real quick is these circles. I think that's a little weird, but hey, that's just my opinion. Probably someone who designed it thought it was cool. Now, the 6-inch, I believe it's the 6-inch version of Cheetara. We've seen the promo pictures, we've seen it. It should be available in stores soon, and I haven't seen it. I'm not going to get it, but I recommend that one over this figure, because that one actually looks like it's going to have way better articulation. This one, however, doesn't. It doesn't have that good articulation. You can't get many poses out of it. But if you are collecting the 4-inch line, definitely go for it. But there's one very positive thing I can say about this figure. It is probably the only figure I know that can, if you position everything just right, she can sit Indian style. You gotta position it just right and kind of lean her on something, but she can sit Indian style. That's actually kind of cool. I don't know many figures that can actually do that. And it's because of the positioning of her hips and the fact that she has the thigh swivels. She can sit Indian style. There. That's really the only good thing I have about this figure. I mean, how many figures do you actually know that can sit Indian style? Not many. But anyway, I recommend it if you're collecting the 4-inch line, or if you're a fan of ThuderCats and you can't either afford or you just don't like the 6-inch figures. Besides that, the decision's up to you. And yeah, so subscribe to my channel, leave a comment of what you think of the figure. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's a good figure? And that's it. I'll see you guys later with my next review. Adios.